video were original screenshots used in this video were originally created by Ghost for their song Honey I Am Home. Shout out to them for creating the song and so thus supplying me with the screenshots. Hello, my lovely audience. Welcome to another video. I don't really have that much to say in the beginning. Let's just get into it. Yes, Patchy Cat? Yes? The what if starts off with a female, little girl, about 4 years old, with about 6 arms, and 2 legs. A full set of 6 eyes, like a spider. She sits alone at the playground, kind of crying a bit. Like, tears are just dripping out of her eyes, because, well, first of all, her father's an abusive asshole. Second of all, no one wants to play with her. And third of all, she got quote-unquote punished for something she didn't do. Yeah. And by punished, I mean brutally beaten. Now, this little girl's quirk is, yes, Patchy, called Arthropod Queen, which just gives her the abilities of any arthropod she desires. The ability to molt and regenerate. Just the ability to live for practically ever. Practically live eternally. Yes, there's a type of lobster that can do that. Anyway, she would be approached by a boy with colorful hair. Like pink and red. Anyway, yeah. He has a mess of colorful pink and red hair. Yes. Eyes that reflect that as well. His pupils are black, the colors of his eyes are pink, and said eyes have a red ring around them. He has a set of 2 much smaller eyes underneath and on top of his 2 main eyes. He would walk right up to the girl and reach out his hand and say, "My name's Azuku Midoriya. What's yours?" Eris. Why are you talking to me? It appears like the boy has another set of eyes on the palms of his hands as he, reaches them out. The aptly named Azuku would smile and say, "Well, you looked lonely, so I want to be your friend." Eris would kind of gesture, do her face and her entire body. Azuku would just tilt his head in confusion. As Eris would just say, "Don't you, realize how much I look like a spider? I mean, for crying out loud, my saliva's poisonous." Well, there's weirder quirks. My neighbor, Mr. Tomio, has a head where his groin should be. What? Yeah. His head is where his groin should be, and his groin is where his head should be. It's a very weird situation. Eris would just kinda look at Izuku confusedly, like, "That's your neighbor?" "Yeah, my other neighbor, Mrs. Anderson, makes her quirk turns her into a sentient coat rack. It's not a transformation type, she's permanently a sentient coat rack." Oh. Okay, given your neighbors, I can understand why you wouldn't be freaked out about my appearance. Zuku would just giggle. Oh. And, well, yes. Anyway, hello, my lovely audience. Welcome to whatever Zuku Midoriya had the quirk Dream Eater. Now, allow me to explain the quirk, because it can be confusing. It it even turns my head upside down a few times. No pun intended. Poor Zuku's neighbor who I forgot the name of. Anyway, so yeah. The quirk is essentially, if you look into any one of Izuku's eyes and feel even a slight amount of fear, you will be placed under a illusion/trance. Now, Zuku can do whatever he wants in this trance. The only real issue is, well, you have to be afraid. And, well, the more afraid you are, the more effective the quirk becomes. And or the more tired you are. If you're like Aizawa, very tired, and you just watched the most horrifying thing of your life, Izuku's quirk works on you, like, easily. But if you're like All Might, and you aren't afraid, and you got a full night's rest, Izuku's gonna have some trouble with you. Now, here's why it's called Dream Eater. Now, after someone reaches a certain point of fear, they will pass out. And once they pass out, Izuku gains full access to their mind. And when they're passed out, it's too late for you. You can't break out. Izuku has to let you out. When you pass out, you lose your body, essentially. You are at his mercy. You are at the mercy of the dream. And he can look through your brain and see anything he wants to. Any information, all your memories, anything. Now, where the eater comes from, if he wants to, instead of just looking through your brain, he can eat your dream and put you into a week's coma. A coma for a week. And in exchange for eating your dream, he essentially just gets all your memories and all the information all at once. Instead of needing to spend time looking through your brain, he can just eat you in the dream. He can just eat the dream and get all the information. Now, well, here's a little fun fact about the quirk. First of all, in order to make people more afraid, it has forcibly elongated his tongue venom style, and also given him teeth rather reminiscent of venom. Along with that, a set of retractable claws on his hands. Now, this is, like, specifically to cause more fear. The more fear, the more effective the quirk. Remember, the entire goal of it is to put you to sleep, and it can only do that if you're either very tired or very scared. So, yeah, that's essentially Azuku's quirk. And just so you know, Inko is not going to be the nicest of people. Yeah, sorry. She isn't going to be a good person. Not at all. What did I name her? Enri? The female spider lady. Oh my fuck, I forgot her name. I'm gonna have to rewatch the video. Okay, I'm just gonna call her Emery from now on. I don't know if that's her name or not. I will rewatch the video and I will remember her name if I do a part 2. So, yeah. Now that Izuku's quirk is explained, and how Inko and, well, Emery. Yeah, Emery? Yeah, Emery. I'm calling her Emery. And Emery's father, Izuku's mother and Emery's father are not the best of people. Rather quirkist, as you would say. They become reliant on each other, Izuku and Emery, to the point where they really don't like being separated a lot at all. So, one day, Inko's drunk. She would hit Izuku. Oh, one more thing about the quirk, I almost forgot. If he eats your memory, when he eats your memory, you will also gain like 50% of your physicality. your muscle fibers, and, well, he'll regenerate from any injuries, like his arm will grow back slightly more. Like, he'll go from having an elbow. Like, if you cut off his arm at the elbow, he'll regrow up to the wrist from, like, one person. And, well, so on and so forth. Yeah. So, that's his quirk. Yeah, in its full. Inko's drunk. She would hit Azuku over the head with a bottle. The bottle would break, and some blood would drip down from Azuku. This is when he's like 8. And something in Azuku would just snap. Now, here's what he would be thinking. Why? Why must this be the case? What did I do that's wrong? Right, I did nothing that's wrong. My quirk works off of fear, so why don't I make people around me afraid? That way no one will be able to hurt me or Emery again. Yeah, why don't I just... yeah, why don't I just make them afraid? Me and Emery won't have to worry anymore if I can just put them to sleep. As well, Zuku would get up after Inko hit him over the head with the bottle. The bottle's broken, as she would be calling him stuff like demon, monster. She would say, "You still got up, you demon. You monster, you atrocity. Why couldn't I have been given birth to a son with a normal quirk, with a quirk that could be used for hero work? You disgrace. You disgraceful brat." Zuku would start smiling, his teeth, like, jagged and sharp. He looks like a hyena. He would just, like, classic type of ghoul energy. He would just start smiling as well. His tongue, his very long venom type tongue, would just kinda go out of his mouth, Orochimaru style from, Naruto. I'm gonna have fun with the tongue. Oh, not in that way. Not in that way. Back on track. Give me a moment. His tongue would go out of his mouth, Orochimaru style, as he would say with it, like, sticking out, venom style. You're right, mother. I am a monster. But you do realize you just hit me over the head and essentially locked yourself in here with me, right? Azuku would look up. One of his eyes would be covered by his hair. One side of his face would be covered with his hair, and the other eye would just kind of be open. This. This is... No, not this. You know what? This is what his eyes look like. The spiral is pink. Like, oh my goodness, how do I explain this? You know what? Fuck it. The ring around the eyes is pink, and his eyes look... No, how about the eyes are pink, like the red is pink, and around that is, around that is the red, okay? Okay. This is what his eyes look like. He's looking at his mother with, looks like as well. As well, his tongue would go back in his mouth. Oh my goodness. When I made this what if, I did not think it through, because I now have to describe how his tongue moves. Apologies to any viewers who are a bit skittish, because this is gonna be rather interesting. Inko would feel a slight jolt of fear as Izuku's eyes would, begin glowing, showing his quirk is active. He would, get up straight, like stand up straight as well. Inko would begin feeling pain, like pain through her ankles, as, well, Azuku would walk up to her, smiling, like, shocked style, just slowly walking up to her, as Izuku would say, "You said it was my fault that father left. Father left, right? It was my fault for having a villainous quirk? Well, you've never been able to really get over that, could you? Well, don't worry. I brought him to you." Inko would feel breathing down her neck as she would turn around and see Hisashi's severed face on, like, just this wall. Just this absolute beast type beat. Like, think the sweet tooth protein monster. You know that thing? Imagine that with Hisashi's face. The sweet tooth protein monster. As well as Enko would feel a jolt of fear, try and move, but that pain in her ankles would hit her again. She would look down and see severed human hands digging their claws into her ankles. She would begin screaming. As we cut to the real world, Inko's eyes are now pink and red, showing Izuku's quirk is active on her. The moment she, screams, she would fall over, showing Izuku's quirk is now, showing that Dream Eater is now active. Anyway, Azuku would call the authorities. He would call CPS. Explain what he did. They would come and Inko's arrested. He would also tattle on Emrich's father. Did I just remember her name? Is it Emrich? Oh my goodness. Why couldn't I just have chosen, like, Petal or something? No. Fuck. You know what? She's named Koi. Yeah, that's easier to remember. She's named Koi now. Sorry that I'm changing her name so much like Izuku's friend, Spider Friend. But I just can't help it. Yeah, her name's Koi. At least I can remember Koi. He would also tell on Koi's father. He would be arrested too. And, well, Zuku's stressed. Oh my fuck, I forgot to... Okay. Once I'm done with this bit, I'll explain the final piece of the quirk. Oh my goodness, I'm so forgetful recently. Okay, so they would use someone with a brain reading quirk to, show that Koi's father and Izuku's mother are abusive assholes. They're sent to prison. They are sent to prison. And, well, yeah, Izuku and Koi are put in an orphanage. Which said orphanage is not any better. Yay. The orphanage isn't any better, but whoever tries and, messes with Koi or Zuku will feel the wrath of his quirk, as you would say. Traumatizing one, what's traumatizing a few people between friends, So, yeah. Had to drink something. Okay. So, yeah. Koi and Zuku, are very, very close. And Bakugo doesn't know why, but he feels jealous at the fact that they are so close and reliant on each other. So thus he would stop on picking on the two of them, villainous quirks times the weird jealousy he feels. So, yeah, everything would go as canon up to, like, the end of middle school, even Bakugo telling Azuku to off himself. Zuku's very sad, naturally, so he would just go walking home with Koi. Koi would just kinda be leaning against him, like, kinda holding him, using two of her arms to hold his arm, and her, two of her brain.exe not working. Okay. She would use she would use one of her arms to wrap it around Izuku's, and, well, the other, and another one to just kinda, like, she's leaning against him. Okay, how do I explain this? Uh, fuck. Oh my goodness, give me a moment. Shit. I'm gonna make it a simpler position. She's just leaning against him and holding his arm. That's it. So she's just, like, comforting him. He's grateful for it. He's also very upset at, Bakugo's behavior. Sludge Villain would pop up like, "Hey, motherfuckers!" Azuku and, Koi would just kind of book it. Fun fact. Certain spiders are very fucking fast. They would just go zooming. As the sludge villain fails miserably to grab them, All Might turns up. Detroit smashes the sludgy Michael Jackson. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. And, well, yeah. So on and so forth. So, blah blah blah. All Might would jump away after giving them his autograph. He would still drop the bottles because All Might is an idiot. All he knows how to do is hit things hard. He's not really the smartest of individuals. So he would still drop the bottles. Bakugo still gets nabbed. This entire cadenza happens. Azuku would just kinda growl a bit, glaring at both Bakugo and the sludge villain, as he would just turn to Koi and ask, "Hey, you remember that poisonous saliva?" "Yes. I use it to put you to sleep every night." Now, I'm just gonna explain something really quickly about his quirk that I forgot to. His body is capable of entering a state called death rest. Now, this state is essentially a regenerative coma. Like, his limbs will grow back, his organs, so on and so forth. The only way to trigger death rest is to kill him. Now, how do you kill Izuku if he's technically immortal? Well, you blow up his brain whilst he's in death rest, and only when he's in death rest. You take off his head and blow it up whilst he's still, like, alive. You're fucked. You shove a grenade into his mouth whilst he's in death rest, and no more Zuku. One of the drawbacks of this is, well, Izuku can't sleep anymore through normal means. So, Koi just kinda gives him a slight peck on the lips every night so he can go to sleep. So, yeah. Totally not foreshadowing for something in the future. Okay. So, Zuku would ask Koi to give him a vial of the stuff. Koi's venom in low doses causes, immense pain in yes, Patchy. In very low doses. Oh my goodness! Can things just stay where they are? Give me a moment. I have to fix this. Koi's venom in very small doses causes severe nerve pain. Okay? So, Zuku would just take out a vial, Koi would spit in it, Zuku would just go running at the sludge villain, chuck his bag at it, which... yeah, he would chuck his bag at it, hit the sludge villain in the eye, and just drive the vial into the sludge villain. It would mix with the sludge villain's body as the sludge villain would laugh like, "Ah, gotcha!" As a jolt of pain would wash over the sludge villain, he's like, "The hell? What? Why am I feeling pain?" And then the sludge villain would feel a slight amount of fear. Azuku would look him in the eyes, and his eyes would glow. Give me a moment. Yes, Patchy? The sludge villain would feel fear, like just for a slight second, and Izuku's eyes would glow. As Izuku would break through, free from the sludge villain's grasp, it still thinks it has him, as it would begin swarming around like this just random puff of air. As well, to the sludge villain, Izuku would suddenly disappear. Yes, Patchy. And to the sludge villain, his body would begin compressing to a normal human state. Now, when Izuku has you under his hypnosis, it's like Aizen's. It's perfect hypnosis. He has control over all 5 senses, even touch. So, Sludge Villain has no idea what's happening, because to his knowledge, he just turned into a sludgy human. As he would feel a tongue wrap around his neck, as a voice would say from behind him. I'm just gonna give the sludge villain a random name, like Chiyosaki Haruno. Yeah, that's my random name of the sludge villain, Chiyosaki Haruno. As a voice would say, Chiyosaki Haruno. Why don't we play a game? The tongue around his neck would let go of its grip as it would lick up along the sludge villain's face. The sludge villain would feel a sudden jolt of pain as a set of claws would burst from his stomach. What's happening? A shadowy figure resembling Azuku would move around the sludge villain, revealing itself. What's happening? Well, you're dead. You're going to die. How does that feel? Well, make you feel. I'm not dying. This isn't happening, is it? Your senses don't lie, Chiyosaki Haruno. As well, the sludge villain would feel the claws in his gut expanding as he would be ripped in half. As we cut to the real world, the sludge villain who just wrapped around air just begun screaming and rolling on the ground, like, "Get off me! Get away! Get away! Wait, no, is that a chainsaw?" Everyone's confused on what's happening until the sludge villain begins screaming and just bubbles down. He just goes splat. He just suddenly loses all, tension and just goes over. As his eyes turn, spiral, like he's in Pokemon, showing he's knocked unconscious. As Azuku would turn to face the heroes, as Bakugo's on his knees, coughing, as he would say, "All taken care of," while smiling with his eyes closed. One of the heroes there, Mount Lady, would just say, "What?" As Deku would glare at Bakugo, turn his head, look at Bakugo, and say, just calmly, "Kachan, I'm better than you. I'm a better person, and I have a better quirk. Suck it." Fuck you, and I hope you go die in a ditch. See you in hell, bitch! He would just walk away backwards, flipping Bakugo off, as he would just go into the crowd. Bakugo's like, oh fuck, I fucked up today. He would just begin, like, vomiting. Anyway, so, yeah. After that, 9-month training arc. Zuku and Koi have, they would find a beach covered in shit, well, not literal shit, like garbage, and decide, hey, I'm gonna clean it. They would clean it. It wouldn't be that difficult for Koi, Any arthropod she wants kinda makes her very strong. And Azuku, well, he does struggle at first. He kinda had the string bean look. But by the end, he has a pretty muscular build. And also by that point, Azuku and Koi become official. If you know what that means, you know what that means. If you don't, it means they're dating now. Yeah, just the separation anxiety became too much. Yeah. Yeah. Give me a moment. Fuck. So then, yeah. UA entrance exam. Zuku does well on the written portion, so does Koi. Physical exam, well, Zuku asked if he could have a baseball bat, a metal one with... Yeah, no, how about just... Yeah, a metal sledgehammer. So, they give him that. They destroy robots, blah blah blah. Zuku goes around destroying robots. Koi helps. And they, save a few people from, getting blown the fuck up. Saves a few people from getting blown the fuck up by robots. So they get a few rescue points without even realizing it. 0 pointer comes out. This, how do I... who do I give one for all to? This guy with blue hair and glasses would just jump up to the robot and, utilizing what looks like electricity and a set of rocket boosters in his legs, he would just kick the 0 pointer, absolutely demolishing his leg, but also demolishing the 0 pointer. A few of his engines would, like, burst out of his legs. Anyway, Ida discovers sooner that, discovers on his own, oh hey, if I rip out my engines, my quirk gets stronger. He would discover that sooner. Because of the 0 pointer thing. So, yeah. Anyway, Azuku would carry Ida, and Urami would carry Uraraka, achieving even more rescue points. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, Koi, I mean. So, after the entrance exam, Koi finally managed to figure something out, and, well, she would invite Bakugo, to, just this, warehouse with Azuku. So, Bakugo and Zuku turn up, Zuku looks at Bakugo looks at Zuku, Bakugo's, sad. Zuku's just like, the fuck you doing here? As well, Koi would walk up to Zuku and she would say, Zuku, may I test something? He would just thumbs up, sure, anything. His demeanor immediately changed from, I'm going to rip out your spine, to Rengoku! Stars are flying around his face. He's smiling. Bakugo feels a wave of jealousy. And, well, Koi would kind of, she would wrap her arms around Azuku like this as well. She would press her. She would press her lips against Azuku's, Bakugo immediately becoming extraordinarily jealous, as Azuku would just kind of give me a moment. As Izuku would pass out, Koi would catch him and look at Bakugo, give him a sly smile, and then say, looks like you have a crush on him, don't you? Well, I'd just like to personally thank you, because, well, if it wasn't for you, don't know what would have happened, but at least me and Azuku are a thing now, so thanks for that, I guess. Anyway, that's, I have to end this off here. Goodbye, my lovely, lovely audience. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you next time, and, bye-bye!